you're looking at industrial uses, and you're looking at paper asset demand.
You can't tell me that industrial uses have prompted it to rise 150% in a year. That's ridiculous.
But paper asset demand is there, and diversification on the part of global central banks is a real credible thesis right now.
They're buying silver.
They are buying precious metals, they're buying gold, they're buying silver,
and they're buying
everything but the U.S. dollar.
They're buying the SLV, and they're actually doing so. Literally, they have a right on taking physical delivery of silver. So again, the SLV is not all the silver miners. And
Sorry,
so
central banks are buying SLV.
Yes.
They're buying an ETF.
Yes.
Central banks are buying an ETF.
Yes. People who want to take delivery of silver are getting long ETFs, and I do mean big Asian sovereign wealth funds and central banks. That's the easiest way for them to do it.
BK, come in here.
The story in silver is a simple supply and demand story. Tim just talked about these central banks, but if you add up the top 5 holdings of the top 5 silver ETFs, that's 55% of the demand. That doesn't include Asian central banks. That doesn't include hedge funds that might have it in a warehouse someplace. So you're talking about massive, massive investor demand, and it's about a 300 million ounce deficit that silver's right in. That's exactly the same amount, percentage-wise, that there was a deficit when the Hunt brothers cornered the market. So you extrapolate that out, you're talking silver at over $100.
BK, I agree. I think it's going higher. I actually bought it today for the first time, and maybe I should be ashamed to admit that, but I got tired of hearing Guy talk about how high it's going to go. But I got a question for Guy. When it does pop $7 or $8 one day, is that when you would get out?
Yeah, I mean, then the trade's over. I mean, if you've traded this before, you've seen that doesn't mean it can't then gradually climb higher. But in my opinion, what it's setting up for, and it seems to be on the verge of happening, it's one of these blow-off tops where it goes $7 or $8, blows everybody out, then the trade is over. It doesn't mean it's going back to $10 an ounce. I don't know where it's going from there, but then it trades over, then you move to something else.
To be clear, when people come out, they will come out very rapidly.
I mean, I've heard people like Carlos Slim is buying silver. I know categorically that silver's being shipped to China every single day of the week. So it's clearly going on.
But he's right, it's a trade. When that trade reverses, people get out of it really fast.
No doubt. But I think the point we're trying to make...
Can you get out fast enough?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, you can buy puts on the SLV. If you're going to buy silver, especially at these prices, it has gone up a lot. Buy some puts. Why not?
Absolutely. And again, you go back, you talk about global central banks. If you look at China, their holdings of foreign reserves in terms of gold is less than 5%. Think about that. So at the end of the day, whether it be domestically here, the Federal Reserve, whether it be the Chinese central bank, we're all speculators.
But isn't silver such a tight market, a much smaller market than gold, where you can't really move that as a reserve currency base?
That's why it's a great trade, because you're all chasing fewer counters and you can make it go up.
I'm in it for a trade. I'm in it for momentum. The chart does look good, as Joe says, and that's why.
But how are you in it, Steve? I go back
to the SLV.
Okay, because playing the silver miners here, I think, is a mistake. And again, look at Hecla Mining. Look at Pan American Silver. These are dead charts on a 6-month basis with silver skyrocketing. The minute silver starts to take a plunge, you're going to be trapped in these names because people are going to throw them out. Again, not for fundamental reasons.
Okay, next trade. Our next guest is known for his contrarian calls. Tonight, Doug Cass is revealing why one of the most hated